Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. I am going to do a swipe today. It's been, I don't know, at least 6 months, if not longer, since I have done an intentional swipe, and I've really missed doing it. And I thought, you know, I've been wanting to do a palm tree for a long time. Yeah, some people have been doing trees lately. I did a cherry blossom tree a while back, and that was kind of all done with my fingers, but swiping is really kind of my first love, and so I'm going to tackle this after not having swiped in at least half a year. Everything is going to be mixed 1-to-1 with Floetrol, latex based. That's usually my go-to recipe. 1 part paint, 1 part Floetrol. Doesn't matter what kind of paint. You can use any acrylic paint. You mix it 1-to-1 with Floetrol. These are probably mostly DecoArt because they're in squeeze bottles. So you typically don't need to add water unless it's metallic. If you're using tube paints, you do need to always add water to get the right consistency. I mix it in a cup. I add either silicone or OGX, whatever you use to get your cells, mix it up, and then I transfer it into my squeeze bottles. And these are really dirty, but they're my favorite squeeze bottles. They're on my Amazon link. They have a very narrow opening. So like a traditional condiment bottle has an opening that's pretty large. You see the difference? These also have screw-on lids. So they screw on and they're nice and airtight. This paint has been in these bottles probably a year. They store indefinitely. You know, every once in a while you can throw them out and put a fresh batch in, but I just continually add to it is the way I typically do it. I am going to put Artist Lofted Black mixed 1-to-1 with Floetrol on my canvas for my skim coat, and I'm just doing a skim coat. This is a Wilton icing spreader. It's on my Amazon link, and again, this is an 18 by 24 canvas. Push pins are on the bottom to hold it up off the table, and with controlled swipes like this, you don't really waste any paint except for what you wipe off your tool that you're swiping with. That's really the only extra paint that you're going to be getting rid of, because you don't typically tilt with the controlled swipes like this. So it's a great way to conserve paint, to make your paintings more intentional, and to just do something a little bit more artistic. So this is mixed 1-to-1 with Floetrol. There is water added because it's Artist Loft and it is thicker in the bottle. It's the Artist Loft that comes in the quart. But the rest of the paints are usually DecoArt because the consistency is just about perfect to add to my Floetrol, and no water. Again, there is silicone or OGX or both mixed into the bottles, because once I do a painting and I pour off the extra paint into the bottle, it doesn't matter if it's OGX or silicone, it's all going into the same bottle. I've got my little tools here. I got a butter knife that I used to swipe with originally, and then I moved up to this fabulous oval knife that I get online from Jerry's Artorama. I like it because it's oval. I can kind of really control it. It doesn't have any hard edges. A store card, an old store card to swipe with, and I have a little plastic palette knife. Like I said, I've had this on my mind for quite a while, and I think I'm just going to kind of go with it. I don't know how it will turn out. I don't want the tree centered, I don't think. I want it to be kind of hanging over. And that's the only thing to consider is, you know, which way is it easier for you to swipe? I think for me, going this way, so I'm going to put the trunk on the left side. I'm going to kind of do, I believe I'm going to do swiping for every part of it. So I've got some, that's just a regular brown. This is a copper. This is a rich espresso, which is like a really brownish bronze metallic. And I have brass, vintage brass, which is a lovely color. And I'm kind of going in a line, but also overlapping a bit. Okay, and this is like a true ochre, gold ochre, or something like that. And I'm just going to totally experiment right now to see what effect I'm going to want. Because you envision something in your mind, and then sometimes it doesn't work out the way you want. These are pretty fluid, so I'm getting little fractals. But I think I like going over the tree from the right hand side. So I'm kind of taking the edge of that gold. Also, the thickness of your base coat, like my black, may be a little bit on the thin side. And if it's thin, it's going to make your colors fan out more. You'll have more opportunities to do the fractal thing if you're into that. Dendrites, whatever you want to call them. I'm not really looking for that. I am going to go back along the edge and just try to clean that up with the black a bit. And the black in my bottle is the same as the black on the canvas that's the base coat. I'm going to do a trial strip first, and this is the deep green, festive green, sour apple, and primary yellow. I'm going to take my butter knife and try a swipe. And then I'm going to take my palette knife. So that leaves a strip of black in the center. I don't want that. So let's just try the plastic scraper. Okay, that's a little bit more like I think I want it. So then I'm going to overlap. So you can swipe with the black, or you can try it to swipe with the first color you lead off with, which is the deep green. Okay, so I'm going to try this again. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and I'm going to try to do the other side. And you think of the direction of the fronds, which way they're going, that kind of thing. Keep that in mind when you're swiping. And like this side, you know, maybe less of these fronds show than on the other side. So I kind of wish I had the fronds going the other way. Just experimental. Give me a clean paper towel to wipe with. You gotta keep a paper towel on hand to swipe with, just to you don't want to dirty up your swiping tool, so you've got to keep it clean at all times. I've got a very light touch and barely skimming the surface of the paint. Any areas that you don't like, you can just kind of run your finger through it, add paint back. Depending on the heat in your room and everything, you know, your paints can actually start to dry really quickly. So you've got to, if you're going to touch up something, you got to do it while it's wet, because once you start seeing no reflection and it doesn't look shiny, then you know that your surface of paint is drying, and you've got to be cognizant of that matter. Okay, so now I'm just going to go over and I'm going to do another. I'll just go right off the canvas as far as the look of it. And you can swipe on a dry canvas. I think this just makes it a little bit easier. I'm going to start at this end, just on the first little bit of it, so that when I come over here, I can go over that area. So now I'm just going to come back over the top of what I've already swiped. Wiping off every time. Okay, I'm not crazy about this now that I have it here, so I'm going to just keep going across. Can't drag your bottles in the paint either. It'll put black paint up into the nozzle. And I'm going to zoom in just a hair so that you can kind of see a little bit closer. You can even leave a little gap between your swipes just to kind of give it more of that separation, how a fronds would typically kind of overlap each other. Okay, I'm gonna redo that one as well. I'll just come like diagonally, and I'll leave that maybe, that portion that's showing to the right. So kind of the thicker your paints are, you have a little bit more control over them. I get the feeling that these are a little watered down and they just spread out more. So if you have a little bit thicker paint, you have just a little bit more control. So I'm just going to kind of finagle that a little bit to come out. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to go back up here and redo this area a little bit. So I go in order from dark to light. That way those light tones pop out from underneath, and the deeper colors are kind of at the beginning and the lighter ones are underneath at the end. Again, don't scraping the canvas, and you cannot do that. You've got to hover over the canvas and not touch the canvas with the tip of your bottle, because it will muddy up and introduce black paint into your bottle, and you don't want that. I think I'll do one here that kind of crosses over a bit and is going in the other direction. And if it's hard for you to swipe in a particular direction, turn it towards you or the direction you need to swipe so that you have the most control over your paint and the paint doesn't have control of you. So I'm going to take a little of this. Oop, I didn't mean to use the yellow, I meant to use the gold, but I can kind of finagle it a bit with my finger. I want this here to just kind of come down into the top of the tree. I'm going to do one down here. And I do either side if I can to get it look right. Okay, so I'm angling my canvas just so I can kind of get it the way I want it. So I'm just grabbing the dark green, and then I'm going to do the same thing, grabbing just the dark green. And I want one coming in the middle. I think I like it better when it's just one direction instead of both ways, because that kind of takes away the pattern a little bit more. I can kind of probably come in and just scrape in a little bit of definition, but I like it better when it just comes kind of down one side. And the reason the cells are small and this lacing effect is because your silicone and OGX or whatever you have mixed into your paint is in that bottle. It's been shaken, indefinitely, that kind of thing, and you're pouring it out through a small opening, so that is why you have the smaller cells. And that's my desired look. That's, you know, it's exactly what I want. I want to have smaller cells because I like that look. So again, this is kind of bled out a bit here and there. So I'm just trying to scoot it back in a bit. I got the vintage brass here in this other bottle. I'm going to come along the side of this tree. And I'm going to come in. This is not one of the easier squeeze bottles to use. It has a twist top that does not come off, so it comes out thicker. And then I'm just going to use my butter knife a little bit just to kind of intermingle that with the other paints. But that gives that one side of the tree a little bit more definition. And then I think I'll take the Rich Espresso. It's super wet, and I think that's one of the issues I'm having. It's super fluid. It's really, really wet. That's why I say sometimes I think it's just better to have it a little on the thicker side. I think I'm going to come over here and add a little bit of this gold, which is just the color gold. It's not a metallic. But I want to incorporate some of that into the brass. And then, you know how palm trees have that kind of layered look. Just giving it a little bit of that feel. Come along here and squirt another layer of black. And then I'm going to just bring in some of that into the right hand side. So some will be longer, some shorter. Gives a little texture. I think I'm going to do a little of the brass. I really like the copper. I might throw in just a pinch of copper, but you know, it's supposed to look more like ground or dirt or sand, and of course copper's not in sand. And then I'm going to take some of this Rich Espresso, which is brown. I got a little plastic palette knife. I'm just going to kind of skim through it a few times. Again, I'm going to put a little bit of black to hopefully kind of stop that Rich Espresso from bleeding up. And then I think I actually want to bring this land down here that I was skimming. bring it over the bottom of the tree a bit so it doesn't have that, doesn't go through it. And then I'm going to take, I think, some, I'll do the medium green. I'm just going to try this out here first. A little bit of lime. I use the gold, I guess, and not the yellow. Put the gold down here. And I can skip a few areas if I need to. So I'll do a little of the lime and the gold. I'm not going to do much of that, just trying to make it feel a little bit wispier just on the ends, but not going to do that a lot because that's not the look that I'm basically going for. This black right here is totally dry. So I'm going to put a little down because otherwise my paint is not going to move at all. Get it all back into frame for you there. So I'm trying to decide if I can live with this. I think I want some of the bright yellow. So I'm just going to kind of dot it in. Okay. And I'm going to use my butter knife because it has the softest edge to it pretty much. So I'm just kind of intermingling it with the gold and the brassy gold. And then I'm going to come back, clean up some of these edges again. Come back with the black. That gives it a little bit more of a highlight on the trunk, which I like that. You could even throw in a few dashes and then just kind of go back and softly blend. So you want it there but not really there. That helps it a bit, I think. I kind of want to put some blue down here, but it's a black background, so I think I'm just going to leave it as is. This will be dry within, this will be the wettest part of it right here where it's the thickest, but it's already like drying up here and on the edges, and so this will be dry within 5 hours or so. Definitely by tonight. It's right now it's probably about, it's 1:30, and so by 5:30 it will probably be dry. That's the beauty of swiping with intention like this, is your paints are not super thick. You have a little bit more control. You don't waste your paint, and it dries faster. So I think I'm going to call this one done, unless I put a few coconuts in. Should I? I think I like it. You know, it's not perfection, and like I said, it's the first time that I have literally swiped and with intention in over 6 months. I've done more acrylic pours, I've done more commissioned work. I've been working hard on trying to do the Shelly art bloom technique, which I've not got it down pat yet, so I'm going to bring this up to you to see. And then I'll turn it so you can see the trunk. Got all the lights going on here. But that's the palm tree, or at least my first attempt at a palm tree with fluid art. So I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll get notifications. If you click on the bell on the bottom right, you'll get notified when I post new videos. I share so much of my art and knowledge with you because that's what my heart wants to do, and I love to do it. I also have a tutorial platform where you can learn to paint with acrylics traditionally and brushes, and that's for those who want to learn how to paint to become an artist, not just with fluid art, but with regular art as well. And so I have classes on Thinkific, and they are $35, or there's a bundle package. But the link is below the video if you'd like to check it out. I've got some cool paintings that are so much fun to do. And I got my PayPal link if you feel like being sweet and donating a little bit. It always goes a long way towards supplies. This is very costly to keep doing all these paintings. And I do sell them, but I sell them pretty cheaply so that people can afford them. It takes a lot of time and attention and heart to do this for you because I love doing it, and I just appreciate any support you can give. Check out my Facebook group if you want to. The link is below. Come join it. You'll have a lot of fun being in the group. Lots of sweet people, great people. And I think I'll see you on the next video. I'm not sure what I'll be doing. You can always make requests. You can always email me, Sandra@sandralett.com. I do have a website. I have opened an Etsy shop, and I've started to put a few items in there. I've got so many paintings, I can't put everything in there, but if there's a painting of mine that you're interested in and it's not my Etsy shop, please shoot me an email and ask me about the painting. You can give me a video number or the name of a painting. You can look on my Instagram account and find the names of most of my paintings and shoot me a message there if you want to. But please inquire if there's something you're interested in and you don't see it on Etsy and you'd like to purchase it. Just let me know because I would love to hook you up. So thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm also going to Tennessee on Thursday through the weekend to see my mother. She's got terminal cancer and congestive heart failure, and I just request some prayers, if you will, for safe travels and to have some good time and quality time with her visiting. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.